Welcome back. There are less than 200,000 new cases of sickle cell in the U.S. each year. It's a disorder that affects red blood cells and can cause pain, among other issues. One Houston woman with the disorder says it got worse as she got older. She required blood transfusions every few months. Fed up with those symptoms, she decided to take on a clinical trial called Rise Up. That patient, Tina Manuel, and her doctor, Modupe Idowu, the director of UT Physicians Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center at UT Health Houston, are both joining us live this morning with details about this. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so doctor, can you first tell us about sickle cell and if certain people are most at risk? Who's most at risk for this disease is what we'll call it?
Yes, yes. It's actually disproportionately affect the African Americans in this country.
Yeah.
About 100,000 people are affected in the United States, and it affects 1 out of 365 births, African American births in the United States. However, it affects about 7 to 8 million people worldwide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so is it something that people are born with, or can you get it, or can you get it as you get older? Like a lot of it?
It's a genetic, it's an inherited red blood cell disorder. So they're born with it. And if both parents have at least sickle cell trait, then they're at risk of having children with a sickle cell disease.
And so Tina, was that the case with you? And did you know? I don't know if some people may not even realize that they have it, or if it's something that doctors detect at birth. So
since 1980s, most of the states in the United States started testing for sickle cell disease right from birth.
Tell us about your experience, Tina. I mean, you joined this trial, but what caused? I mean, you said the symptoms got worse.
I was requiring blood transfusions constantly. I was more fatigued just after a regular day, and I just couldn't even walk from the parking lot to a building without getting short of breath.
Wow. How did you hear about Rise Up?
Well, I knew about the sickle cell clinic in Houston, and I did my research, looked up Dr. Idowu, and I was like, I need to go there.
So can you tell us a little bit? I mean, you said that there are multiple clinical trials, but this one in particular, I mean, what does it involve for a patient who says, you know, I'd like to why does it help you? Why did you want to join?
I went to Dr. Idowu, and I was like, something needs to be done. I can't live like this. So she suggested the trial.
And so then what do they do? I mean, in her particular trial, what is it that makes her feel so much better?
Yeah, so this medication, it's called mitapivat. So, and she joined because, like she said, she was requiring blood transfusion every 2 months or so. Wow. She would become short of breath and would not be able to tolerate activities of daily living otherwise. So mitapivat, what it does is that it would increase hemoglobin level. That's the blood level of people with sickle cell disease. Normally, people living with sickle cell disease have about half of the blood that other people would have in their body if they're severely affected. And that was the case with Tina. And she wasn't able to handle that with her daily work. So she started the clinical trial, and sure enough, she stopped getting transfused. And it's been almost a year since she started, and she has not gotten transfused yet.
Wow, that was going to be my next question. And so you've been doing it about a year, and I said, well, how long can and will you continue this? We're leading up to, hopefully then that would cause this drug to get approved so that it would just be available for everyone?
Yes, it's a phase 3 trial, so it's in the final stage of approval. And yes, Tina and other people that are participating, they can actually stay in this clinical trial for 4 to 5 years, even after whenever it gets approved until afterwards, free of charge, as long as they've joined the trial. And there are other similar studies ongoing also on trials like this, etavopivat and other medicines.
So you said you absolutely want to continue with the trial because of how much it's helped.
Definitely.
And then I can't imagine the burden of that, like the blood transfusions and the medical expenses just to get by normally. These trials, they don't cost the patient anything, and it doesn't involve insurance?
No, it doesn't, not at all. So patients join free of charge, and they typically would compensate for their time on the study because they know they can be doing their work, and they also help them with transportation.
All right, you said there are, while this trial is closed, you have all the patients that you need. There are other trials that people can join. How can they find out more about those?
They can contact UT Health Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center for more information about the clinical trials open for sickle cell disease individuals.
All right, Dr. and Tina Manuel, thank you so much for both coming in. This is great news, and hopefully people see this, and maybe other people like Tina can get the relief that they need living with sickle cell. All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thanks so much.